What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for the day, and we finally have our profitable day we have been looking for, guys. It has been a brutal last week. I've been very open and honest about that and as transparent as possible. So it is nice to see some green finally on the board for us. If you guys do not know how the past 30 days have gone, this is pretty much the month of July right now because, again, we're 29 days into July, and this is the past 30 days, right? The first 17 days of July, what I'm going to say here really sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not, because again, you can go back and watch these videos. It's been a very, very weird month because the first 17 days of July, we literally hit every single day. There was no 24-hour period where we were not profitable in the first 17 days of July. It was a really incredible run. It's hard to go and have a streak like that, right? I don't know if we're going to have a streak like that probably for the rest of the year. Going pretty much 2.5 weeks straight of winning is very hard to do. Now, long term, we are going to win, but most of the time, how it looks is we might have a really good day, then maybe not so good, and then a really good day. And it normally just is a lot more fluctuation, ups and downs on a day-to-day basis than what we did in July. It was a weird July, like I said. On pretty much the 17th was when things started to take a turn, and we end up having a not so good run here for the next maybe 9 to 10-ish days, right? And then you'll see yesterday we finally have another good day, a little bit of a bump breakthrough day. Now, with all this being said, just because we have a little bit of a good day today, does this mean that now we're going to go on another incredible run? I have absolutely no idea, right? This is what I try to say every video. In the next 24 hours, in the next week, again, I have no idea what's going to happen. Am I going to show up every day and try to play the best plays possible in the strategy that we know wins long term? Of course I am, right? But I have no idea if we're going to get lucky, if we're going to get unlucky, if things are going to go our way, not go our way, whatever it is. But it is finally nice to see a profitable day, see some green on the board, have some things go our way. I mean, I'll get into some of these entries. I will say I have a PrizePicks entry in today's video. I do not have a better entry. I'll be sending that out later to the free picks, but I have a lot to go over in today's video because it was a very eventful day yesterday. Some days, like a Monday or something like that, not a very eventful. Maybe I only have a couple of entries and I'm just like, you know what, let's get into the pick. Today, I think there's a lot of good learning opportunities, a lot of good correlation, whatever you want to say. So I do want to dig into some of these entries and why they hit, why they didn't hit, some of the entries that we got very close to also, because at the beginning of the day, we had some very close entries that I was like, man, these are just, what is wrong with us, right? We cannot ever hit an entry right now in this next, in the past week. But you'll see here that this pick right here, amazing pick here, this was posted on this channel 2 days ago, okay? So I took CJ Abrams 2 days ago on this channel, and we took him over, and then we took both of these guys on this Mendoza team, and we took them over as well, and both of these guys hit together last night, so this is amazing to see. I should have pulled up the game to show you guys how it went, but this Mendoza team did have a lot of possession. They looked really good. This guy right here pretty much hit by halftime, so this was pretty much completely sweat-free. You'll see that both of these guys hit their line by like 10 passes, all right? So this was 2 days ago, and 2 days ago I actually had another pretty long video because I was explaining that we didn't have a very good week, and I was kind of explaining the strategies and stuff. So if you stuck through that video and watched the pick towards the end of the video, we did actually hit this right here, and then I sent out a better entry like I'm going to do today to my free winnable, and that also hit, okay? So 2 days ago, the free picks, they both actually hit. The better entry from yesterday is the discount did hit, but we're waiting on the Valorant play to hit, okay? And then the other play from yesterday's video, we doubled down on CJ Abrams, if you saw in yesterday's video, and he did hit at 5, okay? He didn't have that extra juice to get him at 6, so that's unfortunate, but he did hit at 5 very early in the game and then just couldn't get one more hit, really. But we do have him pushed right here, so as long as these girls can go ahead and do their thing, get a lot of passes, then we should have another hit here. And I don't know whether it's going to be like a 2x or what, but it's nice to see we do have another little setup here. We cashed this one for a 4x right here with League of Legends correlation. Amazing to see. And then in Valorant also right here, we cashed this. And I went over this yesterday with Jada and Adora. I went over this in yesterday's video about Valorant. They were 2 short games. And then this was set up for us over this night game. This guy only gets 13 passes. This team had very little possession. I believe there was Banfield. They had very little possession. What sucks about these 2 entries, even though they hit, and again, whenever we have hits like this where they go 3 out of 3 and someone DMPs, I like to always say, you know what, a hit's a hit. I'm not going to complain about it. But I will just say that if these guys did go play, so this guy right here, Bezimec, and this guy, Nacho Paez, if these guys did play, they would have for sure also went under. I mean, I'm like 99% sure about this. We saw that this game right here, this guy literally was like the best player on his team, and he only gets 19 kills. This guy probably would have gotten like 15, or his headshots was 15, so he probably would have got like, I don't know, 8 or something like that. So this guy, if he does play, he definitely goes under, and we would have cashed it for a full 9x or whatever it was. But at the end of the day, guys, I can't, make these guys play their video game or whatever, right? I have no idea why you wouldn't just suit up and play your video game for one night. I don't know whether you got sick or what ended up happening, but we do go ahead and cash this for a 4x at the end of the day. Same thing with this guy. He, I guess, gets subbed in, or he maybe doesn't, he doesn't play today, whether he's injured or whatnot. But if he would have played, similar thing here is that because this guy got 13 passes and this team had so little possession, this guy he would have went under his line if he played. Now, he didn't play, obviously, but if he did play, then he would have hit, again, we would have hit this for a big 4x. So I'm not complaining about it. It's nice to see some green on the board, but if these guys did suit up and play their game, then we would have hit this for a larger entry, okay? Which is a little frustrating, but it is what it is. We have a setup here, League of Legends, beautiful correlated 2-man right here. I do want to go into this game and show you guys. This guy gets 5, this guy gets 13. If we go into the actual game, it was KT versus T1, and we took the KT guys to go over, and you will see that KT wins 0-2. Or 2-0, right? So they win both games. So it's 22-14 in the first map, and then the second map, it was 17-10. So the winning team is pretty much always going to get more kills than the losing team. And you will see in the game that they win, they get a ton of kills, right? 2 kills, 12 kills, 5 kills, 3 kills, okay? And then the second game, 3 kills, 3 kills, 8 kills, 1 kill. So literally the only guy that would have went under is Fenrir. So I'm very happy that we did not bet on Fenrir. And then similar thing with the other team that lost, pretty much all of these guys go under, right? And T1 was the favored team. So KT actually upset them by winning that game there. So again, in League of Legends, if you win the game, you're going to go over. If you lose the game, you're going to go under. That is why you see me in League of Legends oftentimes take guys to go over, or under together, okay? You'll see some of these other entries that were very close, and this is what I want to get into next. These extremely close entries, guys, and these are pretty heartbreaking losses right here. But you'll see just very quickly in League of Legends, same thing. I took the overs right here, and the overs hit. Sometimes I'm going to take the unders. So this team right here ends up losing, and they go under together, just like I just explained in that KTT1 game. You can take guys in League of Legends over together and under together. If they win, they're going to go over most likely. If they lose, they're going to go under. It's very similar to soccer. If you have a lot of possession, you're going to go over. If you do not have very much possession, you're going to go under. Now, you obviously see it here. This Counter-Strike guy, he misses by 0.5. I mean, an absolute heartbreaker to miss by 0.5. In Counter-Strike, he needed another round or two probably, and he would have hit this line. And then this one, I actually watched this one live. I spent like 45 minutes yesterday watching this game, sweating this one out while having lunch, and I was just like, it looked good. And then the very last round of the game, this guy gets a triple kill. He gets 3 kills, and then the other team ends up killing the rest of his team and killing him, and then the game ends. So he gets a triple kill at the very end of the game. So he was at, I think, 27, and then he gets 3 kills the very final round. The game ends, and then he ends at 30. And yeah, I mean, it was a heartbreaker, man. What can you do? This is a great example of kind of how the last week has gone, right? So hopefully you guys have seen, even though we did have a profitable day, and it was a good day, right? We had a very solid day. It's nice to see some green on the board. Even the free pick hit, which is nice to see. If this guy plays, this guy and this guy play, and then if we don't miss by 0.5, or if we don't miss by 2 kills here, we could have had a much better day, okay? So again, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm happy. It's nice to kind of break out of our little slump that we were in, but we could have had a much bigger day. Last thing here, because I did have this pulled up on Google, is that Argentinos, I took these guys under together, and these guys went way over together. What I really want to emphasize here is just how much these guys went over, right? This guy gets 70 passes when his line was only 50. This guy gets 93 passes when his line was only 70. So these guys hit this by a very large margin. If we go into the game, if we look at Argentinos FC, which is right here, they had 72% possession, okay? So this is exactly what I talk about in soccer. This team, I'll be honest, I was not expecting them to get 72% possession. I was completely wrong about this call. I'm going to be wrong sometimes, all right? I didn't know that they would have 72% possession, but they did. And because they had so much possession, I can almost guarantee you that everyone on this Argentinos team probably went over their line. They had a ton of passes because they had the ball 72% of the game. And everyone on this team right here, this Rio team, probably went under because they only had the ball for 28% of the time, okay? So again, in soccer, it's all dependent on possession, which is what I'm going to always talk about. Now, I'm not going to go through this just because I already went through a lot of this stuff, and I went through this the past couple of days, but this was updated about 10 minutes before the video was started. So this is all completely recent data, right? This is the past week, this is the past month right here, and this is the past 2026, so the past 7 months or whatever, right? So we're up 200 units in the past 7 months. That means if you are a $10 better or more, you'd be up more than $2,000 this year alone, okay? So really good performance. I told you guys that I wanted to be at 200 units by the start of football season, which is going to be early September. We do have preseason coming up, and then I think we do have some college football games, like college football week 0 happening in August, all right? So college football is upon us. Look out for a football season pass that I'm going to be releasing in the next couple of days here, okay, guys? So it's going to be, I'll be honest, it'll be a decent chunk of money, but you'll get the entire football season for up until the Super Bowl. Okay, so you're gonna get from whenever I release that pass in the next couple of days, all the way up until the Super Bowl. Okay, and if you guys saw my World Cup pass, if you guys saw my 4th of July pass that I did, whatever it is, you guys know that you'll make multiples times your money back with those passes that I talk about, right? Football season is a different beast. I tell you guys, we have never gone under 300 units. We have always had a 300 unit football season or more, okay? So you can use that to do the math. That means if you're a $10 better, you're expected to make $3,000. And that might sound very, very far-fetched, but guys, I have videos on this channel showing everything, all right? So if you really want to invest in yourself, invest in that, I recommend that you go back and look at my other football seasons that I do explain back last year. You can see some of those videos, okay? So let's get into the play of the day, guys. I appreciate you guys if you stuck around and watched that. I know it can be boring sometimes, but it's important to go through the day-to-day, be transparent about it, whether we win or we lose, and it's important to understand the concepts and the strategy behind what we do in soccer, in League of Legends, in Valorant, and stuff like that, all right? So first pick of the day, let's talk about Brooks Lee. We're going to take him over 3.5 hitter fantasy score, guys. I've been loving these fantasy scores, and we are taking him over 3.5 for a couple of reasons. One, he's been on a nice hot streak. The Twins have also been on a nice hot streak, all right? So they've been winning games. They've been getting some games where they're putting up 11 runs. They put up 10 runs right here. So they've been doing very well. His line is also at 4.5. So this is probably my favorite feature about Pick Finders. You can actually see what his line has been set at in other games. So in some of these other games against the Guardians, his line was at 4.5. Guardians right here, it was 4.5. Against the Cubs, it was 4. Now I know some of these teams are different, right? Against the Cubs right here, his line was 5.5. Now I know you can talk about pitchers and different teams and different defenses and all this, but guys, it really does not matter that much at the end of the day. If his line is 5.5 just a couple of nights ago, and now his line is 3.5, that is a massive difference. That can be a huge difference. That could be like, him hitting at a 65% rate versus him hitting at a 45% rate, which is a massive difference in sports betting. Now, you will also see what I love about this, and I've talked about this quite a lot of these past couple of weeks, is that his hits, runs, RBIs right now is at 1.5 and is actually a green goblin. So if you don't know what that means on PrizePicks, that means that they are favoring him to go over versus under. PrizePicks is literally telling you right now that he has a higher chance of going over his hits, runs, RBIs at 1.5 than it is him going under, okay? Now, do not take him at hits, runs, RBIs on his green goblin. We're just using this to pretty much solidify our decision to take him over his fantasy score, if that makes sense, right? Again, PrizePicks is very smart. They know what they're doing, okay? They make money from a lot of dumb sports bettors, to put it bluntly. They have him at 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs as a green goblin, and we are able to get his hitter fantasy score at 3.5. It makes no sense. A lot of times when you have a green goblin at 1.5, their hitter fantasy score line is going to be 5.5 or 6 or even higher, okay? So 3.5, an extremely low line for this guy. I like it at 3.5 and I like it at 4, right? So that's the first pick of the day. The second pick of the day is these two guys on this team, Palmeiras, I think is how you say that name. I'm just going to call their team name Palm, and we're taking these guys over together, right? So I don't have a picture of their formation and stuff, but guys, it's not rocket science, right? You have a goalkeeper right here, and then you have pretty much a full team, right? You have like 4 defenders like this, and then you have maybe like 3 midfielders like this, and then you have 3 attackers like this, all right? These guys play pretty much opposite of each other on the wing. So these guys are either going to play, one of these guys plays one of these positions, and then one of these guys plays one of these positions, okay? So they are going to be passing to each other. You know, maybe they're going to pass to each other like this, where he'll pass back and then he'll pass like this. But again, the name of the game is possession, all right? That's all we care about. Possession, possession, possession. If this team has a lot of possession, then they should go over together. If this team has less possession, then they should go under together, okay? I am completely fine missing entries as long as the theory and the strategy holds up, right? Going back to this Argentinos game that I explained, where this guy had this team had 72% possession. I'm gonna be wrong, guys. Sometimes I'm wrong about these things. I can't tell the future. I can't, you know, I can't get everything right. That would be absolutely impossible. If someone comes on to YouTube or Twitter or Instagram and they say that they have 100% hit rate and they get everything right in, you know, Argentinian soccer league sports, they're completely lying to you. Okay, I'm not gonna be right about everything, but what I do want to see is me taking the unders and they have a ton of possession, so the overs hit, or vice versa, right? Take the overs and they don't have much possession, so the unders hit, okay? So this is the strategy we use. We use correlation. You can also think about this as hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. So if we have a lot of possession, both these guys should hit together. If they have less possession, these guys should miss together, which is exactly what we want to see. Instead of playing a 3-man or a 4-man with 3 to 4 separate entries with guys that just make no sense together, or, you know, in women's basketball and in the NBA, MLB, these just random players together, we want to take guys and girls together on the same game so that they affect each other, so that one team doing something can affect both players, all right? That is the strategy called correlation. That's why you see it in my title every day. This is how we have made more than 1,000 units over the past 2 years, all right? It's a proven winning strategy, all right? I used to not say that it was proven because I hadn't proved it yet, but I have like 8,000 bets tracked over this graph, all right? So 8,000 bets, that's a lot of data points, all right? At that point, it is proven that we win long term, right? That's not just a fluke and unluck, right? If you went back to 2024, I would have never said that it was proven because I had maybe like 500 bets under my belt in this channel. But now I have like 8,000 bets if you count all the VIP picks, obviously, on this channel. So I know that this is a proven winning strategy long term. You just have to stick with it. You have to be able to bear through some of the valleys we're gonna have, because the valleys are gonna come and go. If you look down here in 2024 and 2025, we've had quite a lot of valleys throughout our history, right? You can go back to some of these times on the channel. One thing that sticks out to me is I remember like mid-April 2025, because my birthday's in April. I remember right around here having a pretty bad run, and I remember being a little bit sad on my birthday. I'm like, man, we're on a bad run right now, and I remember that being on my birthday. So you can go back to videos on this channel in April of 2025, and I'm probably talking about the same stuff that I talked about even the past couple of days here on this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.